Should we consider canceling our 4K Blu-rays for Dogma coming out? This is supposed to celebrate an anniversary, but is there more behind the scenes that seem more devilish than ever before? Should we do a way too early review for you guys to give you better insight? Well, let's get into this. In today's physical media news topic video, we talk about Dogma coming out. I really wanted to get in depth with this movie and research what we could before making a bad decision on whether this is a pre-order day one kind of pickup. Should we wait for a discount maybe a few weeks later? I like to get those deals, so we're going to help save you some money today and make a more informed buying decision. And then, of course, we get into a massive rant on why Dogma should be getting a better treatment than it actually is, and what I would have added in a little bit more to spice it up. And of course, we talk about the future here. Where are other Kevin Smith movies going to go? Are we going to get Chasing Amy to 4K and more? Well, we'll talk that and more today, so let's get into this. But first, you don't want to be naughty, my friend. You love collecting physical media just like me and being a part of this amazing League of Mega Film Fans where we have a friendly film fan community. We always get to talk movies here on the daily. You're in the right spot, my mega collecting friend. Be a part of this movement where we save physical medias in this next year. To do that, just hit that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you stay updated and entertained in the world of physical media. Leave in the comments below, have you pre-ordered Dogma? What gets you most excited about this release? And let's get into it. So now, getting a little bit devilish and peeling back the layers of the news here, we got to talk about Dogma finally getting the 4K Blu-ray Ultra HD. We understood that this was going to be a big deal announcement because a lot of people have been waiting for this movie to come out to 4K for the longest time. Heck, people would have even taken a new Blu-ray release because the Blu-ray, I believe, is out of print, very difficult to find. And if you do want to find it, you're going to be paying a lot for it. Those expensive prices on eBay keep going up for Dogma until now, because now we're getting the 4K, of course. But before that, you're pretty much either stuck with a DVD, but you didn't have this movie in high definition. And a lot of people are big fans of Dogma. Some people think it's one of Kevin Smith's most enjoyable movies out there. And that's incredible. Of course, he has this kind of prestigious Clerks, but then you got other stuff like Dogma in there that a lot of people absolutely do love. So it does have a big fan base. So to hear this one finally get the 4K Ultra HD for the people out there, that is awesome. I love that. I celebrate that. I'm here to talk good things about this movie, but just to give you guys more information from research and what I kind of dived into to see, hey, should we be really pre-ordering this one day one? Because, if you're going to pre-order something, it better be pretty special, because if not, just wait a little bit and get a big discount, right? So we got to consider some things here. So yeah, this movie coming out to 4K is a big giant deal. We understand that. But do we need to lock in these pre-orders right away, or should we cancel them? Should we reconsider them and get this at a different time? Well, if you're getting the Lionsgate limited edition one, the fancy 4K steelbook, really cool cover art here, should you be getting this one right away? Well, if you want this edition, maybe if you want this limited edition. But I will also say, in particular, they do sometimes do warehouse re-releases from Lionsgate Limited. Like, they just had a big sale for Black Friday where they had a lot of their classic steelbooks on sale for like $15. So will Dogma ever get to a $15 sale? Maybe in a few years if they do a re-release of it. So yeah, it depends if you want to wait that long. A lot of people don't want to wait that long, so maybe that's not a good waiting option there. So if you really like the steelbook design, locking in a pre-order here. If this is one of your favorite movies of all time, I completely understand it, and you don't want to even chance missing out on it. I totally get that. So it just depends how big of a fan you are and how much you collect steelbooks and the Lionsgate Limited line and all of that to make your kind of decision on that one. If not, get the standard 4K here. Now, for the standard 4K, do I think a pre-order day one is super necessary? No, they're going to have these 4Ks. They're going to have these 4Ks, I'm sure, for a long time. And if you wait for a future Prime Day sale, a future Black Friday sale, these are going to be discounted. I can see this one getting to like under $15 at some point easily. So if you have never seen this movie, maybe you're new to this movie like I am, and are okay waiting on the 4K to get discounted super cheap, then also that is another option. Not really a bad way to go about it for this one. It depends how much you want to see this one right away. If you're just going to buy it and it's going to sit on the shelf for, a year or two, then maybe wait for the sale, right? Well, what's the point? But if you're going to watch it day one, then maybe lock in the pre-order. See, it just depends what your watching style is. But if you can wait on it, I think it's going to get to a discount. There's going to be plenty of these. This is a big deal release for sure. So a lot of people love this movie. Like I said, I looked up the trailer. It looks super fun and entertaining. And I'm not the biggest like Kevin Smith movie fan. Yeah, I do like Kevin Smith and what he was able to do to get into the filmmaking industry with building Clerks and all that stuff. Like that was really cool. But in terms of just entertainment value for me, like Kevin Smith movies that I've seen, I've enjoyed well enough, but I'm not always going back to rewatch them. This one actually looked like one that just caught my attention. It looked very interesting from the trailer. I like the story idea. I like how it had some dark comedy in there. Kind of reminded me of Little Nicky in a way, and I really like that movie. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can get on board with some of this Dogma right here. So this is one I do want to check out in the future on a discount, especially because I was looking through everything. I wanted to make sure, okay, do we have the specifications necessary to make this a great release? And I saw it did have Dolby Atmos in there, so thank goodness. Sometimes these new 4K releases, they don't put in the Dolby Atmos, and that pisses me off. I can't rant on that because I think the Dolby Atmos is here with HDR and all of that. Now, in terms of special features, this is usually another area I would give a massive rant on. But I thought the special features looked pretty good. I think they have a new documentary in there, like a new introduction by Kevin Smith as well, and some new feature rat. So I thought there was a decent amount of new. Now, is it the most new stuff I've ever seen before in my life? No, but a few new features in it definitely might make it worth a pickup for some. So at least there is some new in here and not just all archival stuff, even though it does have the archival stuff as well. So, I mean, really across the board, I can't complain too much here. The artwork looks solid, the specifications look solid with the special features and bonuses. And if it's a good looking disc, then it's totally going to be worth it, especially because you don't really have a Blu ray ready available option that's cheap enough for everybody. Then you're kind of stuck with getting this one on 4K or you're sticking with a DVD. Depends what your style is right there. But let's talk about a massive rant on if this could have been any better and how I would have made it just a little bit better for the big fans out there. So now it's time for a massive rant. What would I've added into this? Of course, I would have gotten more bonuses. I love special features. Like I said, I think they did a solid job getting the new documentary in there, a new feature wrap. I love to see that. But also, if you could get some actor interviews, I know, it costs too much to bring these actors back. Like, is Ben Affleck gonna come back? Is Matt Damon gonna come back for an interview? Matt Damon, you gotta get Matt Damon back for an interview. It would be awesome. I know it's very tough to get those guys back. They would have a high price tag just to do an interview. So I understand. Maybe they did reach out to them, got nothing back from them. I totally get it. Could you imagine just like a little three-way interview? Kevin Smith, and then you got Ben Affleck, Matt Damon in there, just chit-chatting, bantering back and forth like that could be freaking hilarious and great. And I would have loved to see something like that. I know wishful thinking here, but come on, almost a sin not to put that on there for the special features. So if you could get it. So that was just a really cool idea. I would have loved to see that. Absolutely. But anything else in here I would have loved to see? Of course, I'd take more interviews, more feature rads, just anything like that, of course. A cheaper steelbook option, because I know Lionsgate Limited likes to be super expensive. It's like 40 plus. I would have loved to seen a steelbook like 35 and under for this one, because then maybe I would have considered the steelbook, because I do like the steelbook design, but Lionsgate Limited up front is just way too darn expensive. Now, like I said, they'll probably do Lionsgate Limited sales in the future. I've taken part in a few myself, and they do get really cheap in the future, which I love, but then you're waiting about a year or so, and so you got to be patient on that if you're waiting on the steelbook sale. So I think I'm going to be okay with just getting the standard 4K on this one. Like I said, it's most important to have the movie, and it looks like good specifications. So if they did the transfer or restoration work correctly and it looks great on the disc, then it's totally going to be a big upgrade from the DVD. Like I said, a lot of people didn't even have the chance to see this one in HD on a Blu-ray because that went out of print and you just haven't been able to get that one. So, I mean, from a DVD, this should be a big giant upgrade no matter what. They would have done a really terrible job on this one for it not to be a decent enough upgrade. So I like to see that. I like to see movies that, don't have those Blu-rays readily available get that format upgrade rather than, oh, we just released a Blu-ray 3 months later, we're releasing the 4K because some studios pull that sick stuff, and I don't like that. This is like the right way to do that. So excellent, excellent work. It looks like Kevin Smith is totally behind this one too. Like I said, he has like some kind of intro there on the physical media, and it looks like he, had a big part in this. So I'm sure he supervised a lot of this, and he looked at the movie and the disc, and I'm sure it looks great to him. And so that's what I want to see. I like to see the creators involved with these kinds of projects to make sure it's a good quality transfer and it's going to look amazing. So if I actually seeing the movie in my hands, of course I don't have the disc yet, okay? They don't send me this stuff, guys. That's all right. But just a way too early review. Like I said, I'm just talking about it on if I do want to get a pre-order in for this one. This would be one that I can't rant too hard if you do get a pre-order in for, especially either way you go if you're a big fan of this movie. Or, like I said, if you just want to wait on a sale, I might take that path as well. But let's talk about the future here. What other Kevin Smith movies are going to be coming to 4K near soon? Because, wow, Dogma to 4K opens up a ton of possibilities. So let's talk about that next. If we can get Dogma on 4K, we can get any of these Kevin Smith movies to 4K. So Chasing Amy would be a big deal to get to 4K. Imagine a steelbook for that one. That also seems like a very popular Kevin Smith movie that I think a lot of people would see. So if Dogma does great on 4K, sells really well, which I'm sure it will, especially in the collecting market, I think people will be down to get some Chasing Amy on 4K. I think that's another one that could use a 4K upgrade. In terms of other movies, maybe we'll get a whole new like Clerks trilogy. I know those I believe have come out to 4K before, some of them, but get in a nice big fancy box set, 4K box set of all the Clerks movies. Just to have a nice little box. That would be really cool as a collector's item. I'd love to see that as well. But you could get things like Tusk, like that weird, bizarre horror movie, body horror from Kevin Smith. That would be a crazy one to get to 4K because it's like practical effect work, right? So it might look really great in 4K. I mean, he has other stuff in there like Jersey Girl and things like that that maybe could get to 4K, but we have to see how well Dogma sells. And then, like I said, I think Chasing Amy would be a good next one, or like I said, a trilogy set of Clerks all on 4K, maybe like all 4K steelbooks of all three of those movies together in one big box set. I think that would be a hot selling item too. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. So, like, what Kevin Smith movies you would love to see to get to 4K next after Dogma. What do you think are the possibilities there? But yeah, I definitely could see it because now we're getting Dogma to 4K because I think there was wasn't there some rights issues with that one, and it was tough for Kevin Smith to get the rights back and things like that and to get it released, and something odd was going on there. I heard for the longest time why we didn't get like a new release of Dogma in forever, but looks to be like a promising, exciting future now for Kevin Smith movies. I think it all depends on how Dogma sells. But we know this is a 4K market now for premium collectors. Premium collectors aren't going to be satisfied with just the Blu-rays. We want the 4Ks as well. Now, I don't think Dogma is just getting a new standard Blu-ray release. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is just getting that 4K there and then the Lionsgate Limited Steelbook. I would love to see it also get just a standard Blu-ray because I know some people aren't 4K collectors out there. So if this one also had a standard Blu-ray option, that would be great for people too, especially that aren't the 4K collectors that don't want to deal with the 4K hassle and issues, but have that Blu-ray option. Are they coming out with another Blu-ray with Dogma? Is it just the 4? I don't think I saw a Blu-ray with it, but maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe they are doing a Blu-ray. But I would love to see more options, more formats, just for collectors to get their hands on Dogma, even if they're not a 4K Ultra HD collector out there. Always like more options for the people out there to make their choice on how they want to collect. So that would be really cool. That would be maybe something to add in if they haven't already. Well, like I said, this opens up so many possibilities for Kevin Smith movies and other movies going forward. We didn't think would have a 4K chance. And wow, like Lionsgate Limited doing something cool here. If we could see more stuff from Lionsgate Limited, because they're a great steelbook creator. I tell you, their designs are incredible. Yeah, they're way overpriced now, but then wait for the sales. They do have really good sales. But their quality of stuff, I'm telling you, everything I've gotten in from them, it looks incredible, the designs. So Lionsgate Limited is really good quality. So if they can do more Kevin Smith movies in the future, ooh, once again, I don't know if they're all Lionsgate movies, these Kevin Smith movies, if other studios are going to do different 4K releases of them and how they will do their still books. But whatever is going to give these Kevin Smith movies the best treatments possible, I think would be great. But yeah, Dogma on 4K for a way too early review here, without me even having a copy in my hands. I think this one is going to be excellent. From everything I've researched, this looks like to be one of the better 4K releases of the year. So I'm super excited for this one. And yeah, I just enjoy talking about some Kevin Smith movies. What the heck can I say? But you guys will have to let me know once again in the comments below. Do you have your pre-order locked in for Dogma already on 4K? Which one are you going with? Are you somebody that's a big fan of this movie? What other Kevin Smith movies do you like? Let's have some fun movie conversations down below. Of course, if you haven't already, you love celebrating physical media, you want to be part of saving physical media this year, just go ahead and super smash that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. That way you don't commit a sin and you're alerted by these new physical media entertainment topics, okay? But yeah, just have a great day watching and talking your movies, my friends. Hype up this video, share it out with people. You love this physical media topic, go ahead and make smash the next video right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.